What really separates the wealthy from everyone else? Is it luck? A silver spoon? A secret billionaire handshake we don't know about? No. According to Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors to ever live, the difference is much simpler and much harder at the same time. It's habits. Buffett once said that successful people simply make a habit of doing the things unsuccessful people don't like to do. Think about that for a second. Everyone wants wealth. Everyone wants freedom. But how many are willing to build the boring, disciplined, consistent habits that actually create it? See, the problem isn't always income. The real problem is that most people don't notice the silent money leaks in their daily lives, tiny financial habits that feel harmless, but over time, rob them of the chance to ever become rich. Buffett teaches something powerful. You don't really get rid of bad habits, you replace them with better ones. That's how you win in money and in life. And today, we're going to uncover those habits together. But before we dive deep, let me tell you why Buffett's wisdom hits differently. The Buffett example: Warren Buffett isn't your typical billionaire. He isn't flying on private jets, living in 10 mansions or throwing champagne parties every weekend. Instead, he still lives in the modest house he bought back in 1957 for just $31,000. He plays bridge for fun. He drives himself around instead of hiring a chauffeur. And yet, this man is worth well over $100 billion today. How? Because Buffett understood something most people miss. Wealth isn't built on flashy spending, it's built on disciplined habits. Even as a kid, Buffett practiced this. At just 6 years old, he was selling gum and Coca-Cola door to door. By his teens, he was delivering 500 newspapers every single morning, making just a penny each. He didn't complain. He saw opportunity. And here's the kicker. He wasn't just earning, he was counting, measuring, and learning. By the time most kids his age were begging their parents for toys, Buffett was building a mindset. He read obsessively. His aunt once gave him a copy of the World Almanac, and instead of tossing it aside, he devoured it. He studied patterns, numbers, and investments from the time he could barely shave. To this day, Buffett still reads 5 to 6 hours a day. Imagine that one of the richest men alive spends most of his day not shopping, not scrolling, but reading and thinking. Why this matters to you now? You might be thinking, that's great for Buffett, but what about me? I'm not an investment genius. I don't have billions lying around. But here's the truth. Buffett didn't become Buffett because of money. He became Buffett because of habits. And that means every single one of us can apply these principles, whether your bank account has $10 in it or $10,000, because habits shape wealth the way drops of water shape a stone, not instantly, but inevitably. So let's explore some of the money habits Warren Buffett lives by, and some of the financial traps he warns us to avoid. Along the way, I'll share examples that will make you stop, laugh, maybe even feel uncomfortable, but most importantly, think. But before we go on, stop for just a moment and think about this. How many financial mistakes have silently drained your wealth, not because you didn't know better, but because you weren't paying attention at the right time? Don't let that happen again. Hit the like button right now, subscribe to this channel, and turn on the notification bell. Not for me, but for you. Because the very next lesson, the very next principle, could be the one that completely changes how you think about money, habits, and your future. Now that you've secured your spot on this journey, let's continue. Habit number 1, smart spending. Buffett once said, "People tend to think about where to spend money they haven't even earned yet." Sound familiar? That's why credit cards are maxed out, and why buy now, pay later apps are booming. People don't calculate cost in time, they calculate it in desire. But Buffett flips the script. He teaches us to ask, how many hours of my life is this purchase worth? Let's make it real. Imagine you earn $20 an hour. That $1,000 iPhone upgrade? That's 50 hours of your life, over a week of full-time work for a gadget that does almost the same thing as last year's model. Suddenly, that shiny new toy doesn't feel like a reward. It feels like chains. Buffett isn't against enjoying life. He's against spending mindlessly, and he always plans his money, whether it's $1,000 or $1 billion. Because here's the truth. If you don't tell your money where to go, it will disappear, and you won't even know where it went. Habit number 2, make your money work. Buffett says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Leaving money idle in a piggy bank or savings account is like leaving food out in the sun. It spoils. Inflation eats it alive. Buffett advises don't just save, invest. That doesn't mean rushing into the stock market tomorrow. It means learning. It means understanding how money multiplies. Think about it. When you scroll Instagram for an hour, you gain nothing. But if you spent that same hour studying businesses, investments, or simply reading Buffett's letters to shareholders, that knowledge could pay you back for decades. Buffett himself spends hours studying businesses before investing a single dollar. He doesn't gamble, he learns. That's the difference between losing money and multiplying it. Habit number 3, think differently. Here's something quirky. Buffett loves analyzing markets from unusual places like McDonald's. Why? Because he knows that when you think like everyone else, you get the same results as everyone else. He's not alone. Albert Einstein wrote his groundbreaking papers in a patent office, not a fancy lab. Sometimes the greatest ideas are born when you step out of the ordinary and look at problems from a fresh angle. Buffett challenges us. If you read what everyone else reads, you'll think what everyone else thinks. And if you think what everyone else thinks, you'll never come up with anything original. So read widely. Be curious. Explore ideas that others ignore. That's where value is created. Buffett's warnings, the silent money traps. But Buffett doesn't just talk about good habits. He also warns about financial traps that silently drain your wealth. 1. Neglecting personal growth. Buffett says the best investment you can make is in yourself. Skills, knowledge, and self-education pay higher returns than any stock. 2. Credit card debt. Buffett calls it financial poison. The interest rates are designed to enslave you, not enrich you. 3. Chasing the latest gadgets. New doesn't always mean better. Buffett himself sticks with what works. 4. Eating out constantly. Fun in the short term, destructive in the long term. Home-cooked meals save you money without costing your happiness. 5. Flashy fashion. Buffett doesn't care about brand names. He cares about value. Why pay for a logo? 6. Unused gym memberships. If you're not going, you're just donating money to the gym owner. 7. Forgotten subscriptions. Netflix, Spotify, random apps. You probably don't even remember what you're paying for. Buffett would tell you to cut the leaks. Each one of these habits looks small, but combined, they create a financial black hole that swallows your future. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people will ignore Buffett's wisdom. They'll keep chasing shiny objects, racking up debt, and wondering why money slips through their fingers. But a few, the ones who truly listen, will build the habits that compound into wealth. So let me leave you with this. Every dollar you spend is a vote for the life you'll live tomorrow. Are you voting for freedom or for regret? Before we continue, let me ask you this. How many years of your life have already been lost to silent money leaks without you even noticing? If this message is already striking a nerve, then pause for a second and do 3 things that will cost you nothing but could change everything. Hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and leave a comment below sharing the one habit you feel has secretly stolen the most money from you. I'll be reading through the comments and dropping a heart on the ones that really speak truth. Let this be your turning point. Now, let's move on. Habit number 4, buying new cars. Buffett often says that buying brand new cars is one of the biggest money traps. Why? Because a car is like an ice cube. It starts melting in value the moment you take it out of the freezer. The minute you drive that shiny new vehicle off the lot, it can lose 20% or more of its value. Imagine buying a $40,000 car and instantly throwing $8,000 out the window on your ride home. Painful, right? Instead, Buffett recommends buying reliable used cars and holding onto them for as long as possible. And don't forget, it's not just the purchase price that hurts. Cars demand insurance, maintenance, repairs, and gas. Buffett's question is always simple. Do you actually need it, or do you just want to look equal to others? Because often people stretch themselves thin just to keep up appearances, an expensive game that leads nowhere. Habit number 5, gambling for wealth. Lotteries, casinos, sports betting. Buffett calls these attacks on people who don't understand math. Sure, gambling gives the illusion of quick riches, but the odds are rigged against you. For every person who wins, millions quietly lose. Buffett's approach is the opposite. Play the long game. Instead of gambling away your paycheck, invest it. Your money may not double overnight, but over 10, 20, 30 years, it grows into something life-changing. Wealth isn't built in a night of luck. It's built in a lifetime of discipline. Habit number 6, smoking, burning cash. Literally. Think about this. A pack-a-day smoker spends thousands of dollars every single year. Now imagine investing that same money in a low-cost index fund for 20 years. You wouldn't just save your health. You'd save enough to send your kids to college or even retire earlier. Buffett's point here isn't just about health, though, that matters too. It's about how small, repeated expenses become huge wealth destroyers. A cigarette seems small, just like a coffee habit or mindless subscriptions, but over decades, they cost you a fortune. Buffett's core philosophy on habits. Buffett once told students, chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. That's why he urges people to build good financial habits early. The best one, saving. But not just saving what's left after you've spent. Save first, spend what's left. Automate it if you can. Even small amounts snowball into serious wealth over time. And remember Buffett's famous 2 rules of investing. 1. Never lose money. 2. Never forget rule number 1. It sounds obvious, but what he means is, don't risk what you need for what you want. Avoid unnecessary risks, debts and flashy temptations. The cash principle. Here's something surprising. Buffett's company Berkshire Hathaway always keeps tens of billions in cash. You'd think he'd invest every dollar for maximum returns, right? But Buffett says, cash is like oxygen. You don't notice it until it's gone. That cash reserve saved his empire during the 2008 financial crisis, when others were suffocating. For you, this means having an emergency fund, because life will throw curveballs, and cash is the cushion that keeps you breathing. Debt, the silent killer. Buffett has seen brilliant, capable people ruined by debt. He compares excessive borrowing to drinking poison slowly. It doesn't kill you instantly, but it eventually takes everything. Whether it's credit cards, car loans, or unnecessary mortgages, debt makes you work for the bank instead of yourself. As Buffett says, if you're smart, you can make money without credit. Small expenses matter. One of Buffett's quirks is his obsession with small expenses. He once bought a company because the owner literally counted the sheets in rolls of toilet paper to make sure he wasn't being cheated. Sounds extreme? Maybe. But think about it. If you can't manage the pennies, you'll never manage the millions. There's even a story of Buffett and Bill Gates at McDonald's. Guess who pulled out discount coupons from his wallet? Buffett, the billionaire. If the richest man in the world still looks for savings on a burger, what excuse do we have? Think in decades, not days. Most people want quick money. But Buffett reminds us, you can't produce a baby in 1 month by getting 9 women pregnant. Some things just take time. Wealth is one of them. The secret is patience. Think in terms of decades. Your children's education, your retirement, your legacy. Every dollar you save and invest today is a seed for tomorrow. Learn relentlessly. Buffett still reads 5 to 6 hours a day. Why? Because the biggest risk isn't losing money. It's not knowing what you're doing with money. Financial literacy is armor. The more you learn, the less you fear, and the more confidently you build wealth. Money isn't everything. Finally, Buffett warns, don't let possessions own you. 1 house is nice, but 6 houses, they become a burden. A private plane might make sense for him, but for most people, chasing endless luxuries makes life more complicated, not happier. Instead, treasure health and friendships. Buffett says those are far more valuable than any dollar in the bank. Boldness plus discipline equals wealth. When Buffett was just 20, he boldly walked into the office of his idol, Benjamin Graham at Geico, and it changed his life forever. Years later, he also had the courage to shut down failing businesses, even when it was painful. The lesson: be bold enough to seize opportunities, but disciplined enough to walk away when something isn't working. To wrap it up, learn the habit of daily planning. At the end of every day, Buffett writes down what worked, what didn't, and what he'll do tomorrow. It's not glamorous, but this quiet, consistent reflection compounds over years into massive results, because success isn't built in one big leap. It's built in daily habits, stacked on top of each other, year after year. That's why Warren Buffett became Warren Buffett, not because of luck, but because of habits. Habits of saving, investing, avoiding debt, guarding small expenses, and thinking long-term. So the question is, which habits are you building right now? The ones that make you wealthy, or the ones that silently keep you broke? So here's the truth. Most people don't go broke because of one huge mistake, but because of dozens of small silent money leaks that drain them year after year. Warren Buffett's wisdom is simple: protect your money, protect your habits, and protect your future. Now, if this video made you stop and think, even for a moment, then don't just walk away and forget it. Take action right now. Hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and drop a comment below sharing the one financial mistake you're going to fix starting today. I'll be reading and hearting the most powerful ones, because sometimes the single decision to reflect, to share, and to commit can be the spark that changes your entire financial future. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you.